Welcome back to Perspective. It's time now for us to look at all the business stories in Bazaar Buzz. And in this segment, we are joined by Manohar Manoj in our studios, an editor with Economy India.
Yeah.
Welcome to Perspective, Mr. Manoj.
My pleasure.
Let's begin with the government announcing a hike in the price of non-subsidized LPG cylinders. Now, just hours after this hike was announced, the government has decided to put the decision on hold, although no official reasons have been given out yet, but papers are saying that this decision had came almost close to midnight. What could be the reasons behind this, according to you?
Actually, the already resentment is there,
Right.
because government took this decision in a very unpractical manner. People were habituated to paying 400 rupees per cylinder. Now, nobody, even higher middle class also, they would not like to pay 900 rupees for a cylinder, which were paying 400 for that. So, this policy is very faulty. And yesterday, what government has raised 22 rupees some paise on per cylinder on non-subsidized cylinder. If they have withdrawn, it will just give an immediate relief. I would like to suggest Government of India, don't go for this kind of initiative. Just increase the prices of LPG by 100 rupees or 150 rupees, but don't fix any maximum cap for the subsidized cylinder, because ultimately it will create harakiri in the market and the supply chain will be affected. And the person who get the subsidized cylinder, they will sell it on black rates. And there will be huge supply constraints of LPG is concerned.
Right. Also, this decision is, as you said, a politically sensitive one. There's already a lot of resentment, and it comes just days ahead of Diwali and also assembly elections in two very crucial states. Could that be the reason behind it?
That may be reason, but resentment have already gone among the public, and this decision, I don't think any rationality behind this decision, because diesel price hike was a very appropriate one, because it was already due for last 2 years, and government was incurring losses 12 rupees per litre on selling of diesel. So it was increased by ₹5 only, but it may be increased by 1-2 rupees further. But so far LPG is concerned, the better policy is to just hike the prices and don't fix any maximum or minimum cap for that.
Right. But we know, Mr. Manoj, that the government had, in the face of serious opposition from all quarters, including a pull-out by Trinamool, had gone ahead and increased the price of diesel. As you said, it had also limited the number of subsidized LPG cylinders to 6 per year for each household. It is also part of the big reforms push that the government announced in the month of September. What can we expect now? Is the government going to go slow on reforms?
I also support this view that subsidy is not a good policy. It's just an unproductive use of the resources, because subsidy is not a money coming from any other source. It also come out of the taxes of the public. So if you don't spend subsidy in a productive manner, it doesn't have any use. But so far the subsidy policy is concerned, just you, before eliminating subsidy, you just rationalize all tax structure imposed over all petroleum products. That will be better policy, because on one side government is collecting a huge amount of taxes out of LPG selling, and on the other side it says that it is bearing huge subsidy amount also. And if it has withdrawn subsidy, it should withdraw all the taxes also, because LPG is a very mass consumable product. Almost 80% of the families in India, even in rural areas, 20% families are using LPG. So there is no any alternative to the kitchen fuel, because LPG has become the sole source of the kitchen fuel.
Right. Let's shift focus to another story now. The RBI, just a day after lowering India's growth forecast to 5.8%, it has said that it will step in if economic expansion falls below the current 5.5%. We know there is this standoff also going on between the finance minister and the RBI. What do you make of this?
Very interesting situation has arisen, because monetary policy is an area which belongs to Reserve Bank of India, and the fiscal policy is an area which belongs to the Ministry of Finance. And already Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has stated in Economic Editor Conference last month, कि there should be a proper balance between monetary policy and fiscal policy.
Right.
And since RBI is not favoring the idea of cheap money policy, it still wants to tighten the monetary supply because inflation has not gone down.
Right.
And since government focuses more on the higher growth rate, they want cheaper monetary policy and they want interest rate gets down. But RBI still feels that its inflation scenario has not improved, and all macroeconomic indicators are not performing well. So I think they have suggested Government of India to go for the expenditure cut rather for increasing taxes, because that is a better policy for any government. But I think this government in a very wayward manner increased many wasteful expenditure. I have already said in your earlier program that in 2009 Lok Sabha election, this government took 3 measures for waiving of farmers loan, recommendation of 6 pay commission award, and scheme like Narega, that's a non-asset creating scheme. These all have a very cumulative inflationary pressure over the economy, and the result we are seeing, we have a high inflation rate and we have a high fiscal deficit rate. Now Government of India and Ministry of Finance, they are making roadmap for the fiscal constraints, and they have planned to bring down fiscal deficit at 3% level by year 2017. If they do on that front, it will be a very good sign for Indian economy. And so far inflation is concerned, the food inflation is a major constituent of the inflation. And so far food inflation is concerned, government have a very faulty policy for last 60 years. They do not have any rational agriculture pricing policy. They don't have any provision for minimum prices and maximum prices, because minimum prices gives a safety net to the farmers. They maintain the supply chain in the market, so it doesn't affect any inflationary pressure over the economy. And if they get a better surplus and cost plus pricing for their all agriculture product, they will take interest in agriculture, and the supply chain will be maintained. And if government fixes maximum prices, it will give benefit to the consumer. So government has to bring a very comprehensive agriculture pricing policy to contain inflation, to contain food inflation, and to maintain agriculture as a profitable profession.
Also, what do you make of the government's huge subsidy bill, as you mentioned also earlier in the program, and that the finance minister also at the beginning of the week announced a fiscal roadmap, how we are going to rein in our fiscal deficit, which is where we had this hope that the RBI might just step in and might just ease interest rates, but of course that did not happen. But the government is yet to tell us how it is going to rein in its subsidy bill.
Actually, P. Chidambaram is a very competent person. He has already started his homework, and RBI has also indicated it will bring down bank rate in coming April credit policy, in upcoming credit policy. So there is hope, and government have already curtailing some expenditure also. They have already instructed all financial advisors to go for the expenditure cut. So I think in the hands of P. Chidambaram, economy will go on a very right path, and the thing will be get better. But if government brings food security bill that is costing 1 lakh crore, it will have a huge dent over the fiscal deficit.
All right. Well, we'll discuss it later. Perhaps it's a never-ending debate there. But let's shift focus to another story. The Empower Group of Ministers headed by Finance Minister P. Chidambaram that met yesterday. It has decided to partially take back the premium spectrum in 900 megahertz band and from the incumbent operators and auction it. How are you looking at this development?
Actually, this is also related to fiscal deficit, because government is searching just source of revenue, and 40,000 crore has been targeted. It will come from the spectrum licenses, and 30,000 crore will come from the disinvestment as targeted by the government. And let's see what happens. But the yesterday meeting, it means actually the spectrum area was very controversial in the earlier decision making process. Now government is just trying to repair it and just trying to correct it. So I think it's a very good move. Some GSM operators has been allowed to use their already existing the band, and they will have to go through the upcoming auction route. And the reserve price has already been fixed, that is perhaps 36,000 crore rupees. And for 1800 the prices, reserve prices have already been fixed 14,000 crore rupees. So I think in the coming auction route, government will generate substantial revenue out of a spectrum license.
So the government could be looking at a substantial revenue, but this is definitely going to have an adverse impact on the incumbent players, the big market players in this sector.
I think they will also welcome it, because if things go in the right process, government is expected to even get 1 lakh crore rupees out of selling of a spectrum licenses.
Right, let's focus to another story now. The slump in the auto sector continues, but Maruti, India's largest car maker, that seems to be on a rebound mode. There's been a revival in demands for the month of October.
The what figure are coming, that are very encouraging for the automobile sector.
Right.
And almost all major player of automobile, they are performing very well, and their sales turnover has gone up. And so far Maruti is concerned, it was facing a very troubled situation in last 2-3 months.
Right.
Now it has regained its pace, and it is still the leading player of the Indian automobile companies.
And in fact, its sales
it
grew by
also
almost
shows,
87%.
it also shows now the stagflation era of the Indian economy, it's going to be over. Our infrastructure has already done well in the month of September. It has also achieved 5% growth target, because the industrial slump has been replaced by a better performance of infrastructure sector.
Right.
There are 7 and 8 component of infrastructure sector, coal, gas, refining, and etc. They have done very well in the month of September.
Right.
So I think it will help Indian economy also to regain its growth path.
Right, and also it is, we think, somewhere thanks to the festive cheer in the
Yeah,
month
yeah,
of
that's
October.
right.
Well, on that note, it's time for us to thank you here, Mr. Manoj. It was a pleasure
My
having
pleasure.
you here.
Thank you.
Time now for us to take yet another break in the program. Stay with us. We'll be back with the final segment.